بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Your Excellencies, ulama, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, let me say I'm deeply honored to be here today to participate for the first time in such an important conference here in the United States, also for our communities across the world, to reflect that outside the Arab world or outside the Middle East or outside some majority Muslim countries, the communities will keep working together to define a role, a global role, rather than just a domestic role. Let me also appreciate and thank both speakers prior to me, whom I agree with totally in the key points in relation to their participation, understanding the systems, deciphering the systems, effecting the systems of change, of management, of understanding what it takes to have a positive, significant impact, not just on the United States or within the United States, but globally. And let me also thank Imam Qazwini for highlighting what it takes to participate. His key points is that these changes require generational change. It's not just an overnight. The impact cannot be felt overnight. However, it is possible for us to significantly reflect to the world that the word Muslim or Shia or any other, even hijab or color or whatever, should not be a deterrent, but should be a positive factor in changing the world and impacting inter and intra-societal communications. The way my speech will be primarily to reflect from the global perspective, how do they see? What are the key challenges we face? Rather than from you viewing the position outside. How do the outside see us? The global challenges now the world face are so many, among them issues which we care about. Some of those issues are global, such as environmental, or cyber, or the population growth, or shortage of water, or other issues. Some are relevant and we deeply affected by, such as global terrorism, or the issues against Islamic phobia, or Islamic jihadism, or Islamic terrorism, or any other terms used with that negative connotation. We are affected by it. We need to understand that the globe, countries of the world have so many issues to worry about. What we may worry about is one among many. Do we compete among those issues? Yes, we do compete. We need to understand that such a competition means we need to be a positive factor here. Also, when you look at the Middle East, for example, it's one of the key global threats. It's becoming an area of instability, an area of tension, an area where countries are fearful that migration may take place or terrorism might be exported or their homeland security is threatened by. That's another global problem. You guys, your home, back home, or where you came from may not be the Middle East, but that's irrelevant. Why? Because other peoples do not see you with that. Truth is not what people seek. Perceptions is what they base their judgment on. What is the current perception for us as Muslims? How do we change that? That's what matters for us. You may say, well, I'm a Shia. I have nothing to do with what's going on and Qaeda. I will say, well, you may be a Shia, and I don't doubt that. You may be a devout Shia. You may be a peaceful Muslim. But what you need to understand is how others see you. How do you change that? What are you perceived? Truth is what you may get, and what you may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala judge on in the final judgment, not on earth. On earth, people, countries, politics are all about perceptions. And this is one of the key issues we need to understand. You may also say, well, these issues are in Sunni lands. Well, the reality is the label is important for all. Your own logo talks about Universal Muslim Association, doesn't say Shia. which means this is a type which, or a name or a brand which you are associated with. And you may also say, well, these are problems which is giving bad image to the Sunni world, and therefore we should be happy about, or we should be okay with it. I will say no. Why? Because, as we talked about, the majority of victims of Daesh are Sunnis. The majority of victims of Daesh are Muslims. If you have a global perspective, if you seek to have a global perspective, then you need to worry about global issues. If you say, well, I'm inside my own community, do not worry about others, I will say, good luck, but later or sooner, that radiation of bad image will come to you. It will come to you at an airport, it will come to you wherever you are when people associate you, or associate your name or color or or hijab or beard or others with what's going on in the world. On the other side, I would say, well, I was in UK for a long, long time and here in the United States. Why don't we take advantage of that geography of where we are? You have an obligation, not just an honor, an obligation and not just a responsibility of where you understand both cultures, you have access, you have citizenships and so on, and therefore that gives you access. You understand both geographies, and certainly you should be able to communicate to the majority of the globe that you can be the positive factor and you can be the game changer. Be positive in your reflection. Do not shy away from your names, as the Imam said. However, that positive connotation is a responsibility you need to worry about. Your name is Muhammad or Ali or whatever, that's a responsibility, not just a privilege that you have. That's something you need to worry about as well. So to that effect, the globe do have challenges. Some of them we care about, we should care about all because we are humans and we are responsible. However, some are what I might call areas of contention or spotlights on you. Here, I think it's important for us to be positive. It's important for us to focus on that. The region in the Middle East has challenges such as states becoming weak, non-state actors becoming strong, demographic change, social change, economical change, oil prices going down and so on. These issues will stay there for a while. How could you contribute? How could you help? Might be one issue. However, what can you get out of it is that what you need to focus about. If the region can have positive impact for you to work on, do that. But be careful that you don't view this as from a nationalistic perspective only. You need to view this as a human and as a Muslim or as a whatever names you have or connotation, think people about you. So it's important that your nationalism is a point which strengthens the argument and doesn't become a point of jingoism to that effect. So please bear that in mind. On the other issue you've got issues which has to do with inter and intra-communities in relation to how the world sees us. We need to bear in mind that the issue of Muslim is a global brand. There are responsibilities for us. The issues of Shia is also a global brand. We have a responsibility for that. So these are important issues to worry about. On the other hand, please bear in mind that your inaction is a self-inaction. If you do not vote, that extra vote will go to someone else. So to that effect, please bear in mind that how could you play a role in this community at this United States, it's all in your hand. How much you cooperate with each other to focus on that. How much you want to be what I might call positive discrimination of the issues you have. Show that you are a Shia, don't worry about that, but at the same time, show how positively different you are. Not by having what I might call a zero-sum game, by saying that Sunnis are X, Y, and Z. That's totally wrong approach. Why? Because you already have that connotation on you, whether you like it or not. What you need to show is that we will contribute and give blood. We will contribute and build hospitals. We will contribute and sweat for the global and for humanitarian aspect of it as well. Here in the United States, I discovered that you have one of the biggest positive aspect of it is that Americans say, we, American Iraqis, American Irish, American others. In the United Kingdom, we don't have that. You know, you're either British or you're not, or you can't say I'm an English in perspective. So here you have what you might call opportunity and environment which helps you to be open-minded and to be effective. I live in Washington. I interact a lot with the US establishment. I can say with confidently, those who are from Muslim background are very few in the system. Those who positively show that are fewer. So it's important that the system, which is doable to be affected, which is doable to have a positive impact on, is open for you to be impacted on. I totally agree with Imam Qazwini, and we had the same problem in UK. Here you have doctors, there we had dentists, and we have sort of chemists and others, and people do not want to have a role in the society, if in fact it's important for us to think about lawyers. It's important for us to think about journalists and judge and others as well. That's the key way of impacting the system. And by the way, I can say with confidence, such a small step you may take now and may have a major effect in future. Never underestimate that a doctor might be good financially or you may help survival for people, I give you that. But a political position you may be put in, or a moral or social position, or a community leader position you may have on, can save much more lives and images and history and our own heritage, which we are responsible to do. The whole concept of the conference talks about Imam Hujja Ajjallah Faraja, which talks about selflessness rather than anything else. That key feature you can do. You can be a politician, and let me correct my imam and say I'm a diplomat, I'm not a politician. But you can be a politician which can have significant impact. The system in this country promotes politicians. You need to be involved in that system. You can say, well, I can exclude myself and not get involved. You have every right of doing that, but that's a great deed and responsibility and honor which you are shying away from. On the other hand, you could play a positive role where you can provide the right environment for other politicians to function in and for the good politicians to be the norm and not the exception. Let me thank you again for the honor of letting me participate in this event and wish you all the best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.